Welcome to the Six-Figure Author Experiment, where we help you break through your first or next $100,000 goal. Parental discretion is advised. Now, let's get on with the show.
All right, everyone. Welcome, I guess, to the first episode of the Six-Figure Author Experiment podcast with Lee Savino and Monica Leonelle.
Hello.
So we are in a strategy session right now talking about the podcast. And I was like, we need to just record this. So I'm going to just rewind a little bit and say we're going to launch our first book of, well, maybe I should talk a little bit more about it. So I have a series called the Godsverse Chronicles, which is 11 books. And to my shame, I've never launched it on retailers for many reasons. The first of which was like, just kind of snooty about retailers for a long time because I was on Kickstarter and it was working. And then I didn't have any growth in my mailing list. And I'm like, why isn't this happening? And Monica goes, it's because you're not a retailer, silly. You need to get casual readers to do this thing. And I was like, oh. And then I met all the retail reps and they're so great. And then I was like, why am I being such a jerk about this? I'm going to get my books on retailers. Then I had to get new covers. Oh, I had to wait for the books because I told people it would be exclusive on Kickstarter. So I had to wait for the books to be done. Then I had to get new covers for them. Then I had to go to a mastermind and get told that the covers weren't good enough. And then I had to swallow my pride and get new covers for them. Then I had to get new paperbacks for them. Then I had to the books were, I wrote what is now book 5 first. And so I had to have book 1 to 4 ready, which I wrote after book 5. It was a whole mess. Long story short, we just had our first Future of Publishing Mastermind. And I said, if I don't find someone to help me at this show, I'm going to just release it. I'm just going to release them. I told Monica, I was like, maybe I'll just release all 12 of them at once, in March, because I can't think about it. But I met Lee and I told her I had this weird idea for this podcast called the Six-Figure Author Experiment, where basically we live release 12 books, the whole series, in public, and I fail or succeed with people. And Lee, take it away. It blew
my mind. I was playing hooky in a session and here comes Russell, who organized the whole convention. I was like, oh no. But then he's like, I have this idea. We get chatting. And for a long time, I am definitely someone in the finance world calls it a maverick personality, where you burn it all down just to regrow it because you want the dopamine rush. And I wanted to do this with a pen. I was like, I'll just start a new pen. It'll be secret and I'll record how I'm launching it. But I have 2 kids under the age of 10 and I am tired. And Lee Savino pen name is up and doing well. And so immediately I'm like, don't burn it to the ground. It's working. So then Russell's like, I have this idea. And he said, and you were like, you looked physically pained when I told you and I'm really excited about the project, but I also was like, why am I sitting on the sidelines? But I will say, you launched on Kickstarter, and that is worth pointing out. I have never done that. And that is a viable option for if you're listening and you're going, I'm not sure about but Kickstarter sounds fun and inviting and yeah, let's go. Then we can definitely talk about that in a later episode. What's the Kickstarter process? What's the launch process? What does 6 figures on Kickstarter look like? But I definitely I built my business on Amazon, then moved out of Kindle Unlimited to Wide. And I'm a fan of all programs. Kindle Unlimited is a great, easy mom option when you're tired. You're just one place. And now I have help to upload to the other retailers. And I've also really invested in my direct store and so can talk to that. But I'm really excited about this launch. And I'm here to learn too, because Monica has all this information about the algorithms and I didn't know a lot of that. So yeah, let's talk pre-order strategy, because you have all these books written. Sometimes pre-orders can put pressure on a writer. They're like, oh no, I have a deadline, and that can be hard, and that can mess with your head. And if that's you, then no pre-orders. It's fine. It's more important that you're sane and healthy and creative, but you've got them all written and covered. And so now we're talking about
and loaded onto the platforms. They're on the platforms.
Russell, but no, we're going to be wise. We're going to be smart. Monica, what about pre-orders and the algorithm, especially, I mean, Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla. It really, like, they pay me a lot of money, so I'm not gonna say anything bad.
No, I mean, we love Amazon. I love Amazon. I mean, Amazon gave like every person in this industry their career, from like authors to like anybody who even just works in the industry. So I'm always like, Amazon's great. So with pre-orders on Amazon though, so we have 12 books. So we were talking about spacing, and we were talking about, you know, should we do it weekly? Should we do it less than that? I think we kind of landed somewhere around like maybe 1 and 2 go out kind of together-ish, like within a couple weeks of each other, and then maybe going to monthly, or I don't know. I think anywhere between 3 and 6 weeks is like a pretty good like rapid release type of strategy. In terms of pre-orders on Amazon, I would do 3 weeks ahead of time. The reason is because what Amazon does is it basically gives extra weight to the last 30 days of sales, and it will count it'll count a sale of a pre-order at the time of order, not the actual sale. So as I think everybody knows, like the actual sale is going to happen, like when they take the money is going to happen when the book is actually released. So the last 30 days on the ebook side, I think it's true on all the other format side as well. So there's like one weight that is the last 30 days of sales. There's another weight that's the last 90 days of sales. And if you do it 3 weeks ahead of time, then you basically get all your pre-order sales plus all your launch week sales. And that kind of gives you like a good push for the first, 7 to 10 days. And so like, if you can hit all of that right during launch, then that'll get you to, you know, essentially the highest rank that you're going to get at launch. The other platforms, it's kind of the opposite. So I'll talk about Kobo and Apple Books specifically, but they do it where they will count it at the point of order. So they'll give you a boost in rankings at the point of order. So, and then they'll also do it at the point of sale. And I don't know the exact weights. I don't think anyone necessarily knows the exact weights, but like every time I talk to a rep about it, they're like, oh, we give you like double the exposure in their algorithm ranking. So with those two retailers specifically, I would really put the pre-order up as soon as you can, because you're accumulating the orders, but then like it's all going to count towards the sale. So like for the most part, if you're hitting number 1 in like the Apple bookstore, it's because you had a long pre-order and got like a ton of people to pre-order it. The other two, Google and Barnes & Noble, I don't know how much they care about really either of those. I don't know that there's a ton of information about like how they count that stuff or like how the boost works there. So I would still put them out as soon as you can, but that's my best guess.
If we have them up, can we apply for merchandising? And that is kind of how you work with wide retailers. You talk to the person at Kobo, you talk to the person at Barnes & Noble. If you're a new author, you might not know them, but you guys, Russell just ran a mastermind for there, and you can talk to them. I assume you have their emails.
Yeah, at the wide retailers, I think merchandising is so important. I just remembered Barnes & Noble actually only counts the last 6 months of sales. So like maybe you put that one up only 6 months out or less. I don't know about Google Play, but yes, aside from, so Google Play and Amazon, they don't have much merchandising, but the other three have quite a bit. So definitely they say they want it early, like they say 6 months early, but 2 to 4 months early I think is kind of good enough.
All right, my first question, what are you talking about? What is merchandising? What does this mean?
Merchandising is when the retailer themselves gives you extra promotion, and you're basically hand selected, or you're not you, but your book is hand selected, and they will give you extra promotion. Maybe it's in a newsletter, maybe it's on a special page, maybe it's just, and the promotions vary by retailer. Barnes & Noble and Kobo, they have specific tabs that you need to like talk to them about and get ahead of time. And then Apple Books has their merchandising is kind of different, but anyway, I know how to get into it. So I don't know. I don't have all the details, I guess, at the moment, but
this is what I learned coming from Kindle Unlimited heavy. Also, I was having babies and I was very busy. And I wasn't able to go to conferences or masterminds. And the benefit of going to those places is to meet with Winnie from Apple and the lovely ladies who were from Barnes and Noble and Kobo, and hanging out with them. And they give you that promotion tab. And then you just go onto your dashboard on Kobo and you click and you apply for the promotions.
Yes, I will say, as someone who hasn't historically done that with wide retailers, some of the wide retailers are a lot better at like doing promotions and offering promotions. Like I know Kobo has like a ton of promotions. If you go straight to them, Barnes and Noble has some. Like, so it's not either you get merchandising or like you get no merchandising. Like there are options at these retailers, right?
yeah, you can also, a lot of them have forms that don't seem to be published widely, but we have all the forms, so we'll help out with that. But a lot of them have the forms that you can submit like your new releases to, so, or like your pre-orders to, so you can also let them know. Drafted Digital also has a lot of that as well, and PublishDrive to some extent. So like if you're with one of those distributors, you can also get into these merchandising opportunities. They are like, I would say like on Kobo, I think like a 30% success rate for what you submit for is pretty common. So don't be discouraged if you don't get it right away. And what I noticed on Kobo is that after a while, like only certain books were being picked over and over again. So I realized like it's kind of like BookBub. At some point, there's a book and it's just not right for their retailer, and that's just kind of how it is. So there's some of that too, but I think there's definitely a lot of ways to get connected, even if you can't go to conferences. Like with Kobo, you can just email them and be like, I want the promotions tab, and you can also get the audiobooks tab as well.
Well, we discussed different formats. Can we describe what those different formats are and the importance of putting them up on Amazon?
Yeah. The other thing at launch that we were just talking about is that if you're trying to maximize your launch week, then it's really good to publish both really as many formats as you can on Amazon at the same time. So it would be like your paperback, your hardcover, your audiobook. The reason why is that this has nothing to do with rank. I want to like make that really clear because I don't want someone to be like, no, you're wrong. Like it's right. This is correct information. So it has nothing to do with sales rank, but Amazon also pushes books to like their personalized recommendations and like different carousels and stuff, not based on sales rank. So some of it's based on sales rank, some of it's not. And so you can get kind of an extra push if you publish all those things at once, because Amazon kind of looks at a book holistically as well. And like it looks at it in individual formats and sometimes pushes because of that, but it also looks at it holistically and will basically say like, hey, this, they've sold like this many ebooks and it's like, the ebook was $5.99, let's say, and that's this much money. And then they've sold this many paperbacks and the paperbacks are $15.99 and that's this much money. And they'll kind of add all of that together and be like, okay, this book itself is worth this much revenue to Amazon. And it took me like forever to figure this out, but it just makes total sense that like they're going to push a product that is making them more revenue overall. So that is why the formats all together, putting them all up at once and launching them all at once, as long as you can get sales for those other formats, will also really help you.
And so I know there's going to be someone out there that's like, but how I upload my one thing over here and my 8 books over here, and then I publish on Findaway. So like, we should say this is when you link them all together through when you have them all linked and you still have to email customer support to have them all linked. Is that accurate?
I mean, right now, at least Kindle has, KDP has ebook, paperback, hardcover, and I guess AI audiobook, if you're doing that. So yes, it would have to link up. Like a lot of times they link up themselves, but if you can get it in pre-order, then a lot of times you can get that linked ahead of time.
Yeah, I've used Findaway. It will find a way.
Right.
Yeah.
They find each other somehow.
So if I don't have audiobooks, but I have AI audiobooks through Findaway, like I can pre-order all of those early through Findaway, or do I have to put them live at the same day? Like, is there a pre-order on like all of these? I know like
Well, so AI audiobooks on Findaway, they don't distribute to Amazon, but you can do AI audiobooks on Amazon as well. It's a different style, I guess, or different type of AI. But right now you need to be in their beta. I don't know. The audiobooks are pretty cheap. Like you can't price them higher than $14.99, I think. So like they also do like the Whisper Sync thing. So I don't even know. I'm probably not supposed to be talking about this, but that's okay. They do like a Whisper Sync thing where the book, if you buy the ebook, you can get the audiobook for like $1.99 or whatever it is. So I don't know how much the audiobooks are going to help. Right now, I think it's like 4%. I have audiobooks on a number of my nonfiction, and I think it's like 4% of the sales so far.
Well, it's about accessibility. So that's important. And I think just offering in different formats, typically audio is an order bump. And that's why that Whisper Sync is so awesome.
Mhm.
As a romance reader, and with a lot of romance reader friends and authors, a lot of them like to read the romance novel and get the ebook, but also get the audio so that they're reading. Oh, no, got to go pick up the kids in the car, and then the audiobook, and it will pick up what point you stopped reading on the ebook. And that is really cool. And if you're doing that through direct sales, shopfronts haven't found the app that will do that for people, but we're trying to mimic that sort of Whisper Sync to get the order bump. Like if they like this ebook, they might need the audiobook just so they can continue the reading experience while going through their day.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's like talk hard numbers. We are talking about launching the first book the week of July 7th. So like, let's just call it July 8th, which is a Monday. Like,
Perfect.
what am I doing now when it's March 15th? So what am I doing when to get to there so I can set it up between now and our next meeting?
I would upload everything you've got wide and put it on pre-order up to the 6-month mark that Monica recommended. And then, or we could even test that, like put one out 7 months and we can look at data. With this many books, you can throw books against the wall. I mean, my whole career is just like throwing books against the wall and seeing how, oh, that didn't work. Okay, more of the thing that did work. And it's really fun. But then back it out 3 months on Monica's recommendation. And that's when the pre-order goes up on Amazon. And this also gives you time to go, okay, is everything linking? Did I upload the wrong file? Which happened? And
should say 3 weeks, not 3 months. Like you had said, Monica.
Sorry, I meant to say.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about Barnes & Noble is like, who's going to order the book 12 in pre-order? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you could I think you can just put them all up.
As a reader who, when I find an author I love, I one-click that series.
You will.
I don't want to think about it.
That's interesting.
Books is the one thing I spend money on. And when you read books, it hurts a little. I'm like, Nora Roberts, $500 for this books? Like, oh my gosh, I gotta go to the library. But for most authors, I just did this for a really cool murder mystery set in post-World War II London. I was like, auto buy. So that person, you're giving them the opportunity. Because yeah, we've talked about algorithms, but let's also think about the reader. Like your reader is finding you. And we've talked about playing with the price of book 1. I think full price to start, and then a couple releases in, like book 4, we play with the price on book 1 and make a great entry point. But you know, you're going to get your raving fans, and you want to give them books to pre-order. You want to give them books to look forward to.
Sure.
Because that reader is so happy they found you and they want to read more. I try to think that way too.
Okay, my books, I think the first book's about 85,000 words of this one. So what am I putting it at? What am I pricing it at? Monica.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say $4.99. How about that?
Lee.
Yeah, I would do $4.99. Listen, pricing you can always raise or lower. As a romance novelist, I know the market, and as people are getting above 70, 80,000 words, they're going towards $5.99. I have no idea what fantasy or YA is doing. I could do some research for the next episode. But also it's your feeling. And I think $4.99 is great. Sometimes book ones I'll play with like a $2.99, but $4.99 sounds good. It's a long book. It's a real book. You know, sometimes pricing is a mindset thing. Like, oh, I am not as good as Stephen King. So I'm like,
I don't have that problem for sure.
Read a bunch of stuff. I'll find the ones that are.
Say what you probably sold it on Kickstarter for like way more than
Yeah. So I would love to talk about the Kickstarter side because I'm not familiar, and you have launched, and this is just an expansion of that launch to find new readers. But yeah, let's say $4.99, and $4.99 for at least book one, maybe book 2 and 3, and then up towards $5.99, $6.99, $7.99 for the leader in the series. You can always do sales. I love pricing full price, and then you just, I'm going to discount it, you know?
I love it. Okay, so I do have some Kickstarter numbers just very quickly. This series between the Katrina Hates the Dead comic, the Pixie Dust comic, the 3 Godsverse launches, and then Black Market Heroine, which was our another comic book launch, this series has made $85,156 just on Kickstarter. It has made probably another $1,000 or so from direct sales as well for the series. So yeah, all right. And what's cool about that is I actually have I have a bunch of custom audiences I can make when we do Facebook ads, but we're not going to talk about that yet because next time we talk, I'm going to have all of these books up on pre-order.
Yay!
Or not on other retailers, not on Amazon. Awesome. All right.
Awesome. Yay.
All right. Everyone say bye.
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 Thanks for listening. For more, head on over to sixfigureauthorexperiment.com for archive access, resources, and more. We'll see you next time.